Hi, so I just want to go over the data here. And I want to explain it a little bit because anytime that you start representing data of these sort, that you inevitably do a bit of analysis just in the representation itself. So let me show you what I distilled from the raw data and then explain some of the choices I made. So what I get as far as the social meaning of bitch as used in this sentence, she is such a bitch. The social meaning is highly informal. So on average, it was you all rated it as 6 out of 7, where 7 was the most informal, 1 would be the most formal. So 6 out of 7 is pretty informal. Moderately taboo, so 3 out of 7 on the tabooness, where 7 is the most taboo. And it was insulting. So 60 out of 66 subjects rated it as an insult. 6 rated it as something else, and nobody rated it as a compliment. And again, keep in mind that this is based off of 66 native speakers of English, and I restricted my attention just to the native speakers who took the survey. In terms of emotional meaning, this is a fairly strong emotional power to it. 5 out of 7. So 7 would be the most emotional word. This one rated a 5 out of 7. It was rated a negative word, having a negative emotional power to it. 59 rated as negative, 7 as neutral, none as positive. And then in terms of the informative meaning, here I'm looking at the adjectives that you all used, and what I come up with, aiming for the most neutral words that I could find. So basically what I'm trying to do is just focus on the informative meaning without having a lot of emotional and social baggage going with it. So a woman who is mean, rude, assertive, self-centered, unpleasant, manipulative, arrogant, strong-willed, moody, and or uncaring. So these were the ones that had 9 or more instances where people on the survey took it. I kind of arbitrarily stopped it at 9. You can go to the actual raw data itself, look at the Excel file, and you can see all of the other ones. And there were many, many where only one person chose the word. Now, what I did here, though, and let me explain some of the choices I made here, was I grouped them together. And you may not agree with the groupings that I made, and you may suggest other ones, and that's part of what I'm looking for in this particular discussion. But so these are the groupings that I made. I thought that these words were all pretty much the same in terms of their informative meaning. Maybe not in terms of emotional meaning or social meaning, but what I'm looking for is just purely the informative meaning. So mean, mean-spirited, cruel, nasty, unkind, malicious, not nice. I think we can all agree that those pretty much are synonymous in terms of their informative meaning. And then you can see what I did for rude, rude, crass, abrasive, impolite. Assertive, and again, what I was aiming for was the most neutral of the words here. So some of these are going to be more negative emotionally or socially. So pushy, I think, is a pretty negative term. Assertive was about as neutral as I could find among these. But I thought in terms of their informative meaning, these all pretty much have the same import. Then the next one, self-centered, selfish, egocentric, self-centered, or greedy. There were 14. You can see 16 here, 20 here, 36. Clearly mean was the most commonly used one. And then unpleasant, manipulative, arrogant, strong-willed. Let me go to the next page. Moody, only 9 there, and uncaring. And this is a fairly broad group. And again, I'm asking you for your input. If you disagree with this grouping, please let me know. But I put thoughtless, hard, uncaring, devoid of thought, harsh, inconsiderate, careless, unconcerned, cold, distant, non-empathetic, not concerned with others' feelings. I thought those all fit pretty well together as a group. Likewise for moody, this is a fairly heterogeneous group, but they all get at somebody who is in a bad mood, essentially. So unhappy, grouchy, cantankerous, angry. Those all seem to be kind of a easy grouping. And also, I would like you to go to the Excel file and see whether there are things that you think need to be grouped together, or whether we can make even more general groups than I did to kind of streamline this so that this informative meaning is perhaps a little briefer. Now, what I think is interesting about this is that these aren't necessarily negative terms, all of them, and a number of you expressed that in your comments in the survey, that some of you expressed that a bitch can be positive, that there are aspects of being a bitch that are positive, and some of you even went so far as to comment that if you were describing a man in these terms, it might be a good thing. Not so much the mean or the rude part, but some of these others, like being assertive, and even some of these aspects of being manipulative may be considered good in some ways. Okay, that's about all I'm going to say in explaining this, and look at the instructions and then please answer the questions.